Hi, and welcome to today's workshop for simple email marketing from MarketerM8. We'll be starting in a couple of minutes with a few new features, including how to vary the content of your template emails using custom fields. So join us in a couple of minutes when everyone's on the call. We're going to start off, first of all, by looking at what normally is called email broadcasts. So basically, to be able to send to say 1,000 people or 100 people a particular email, a one-off email. So that's normally called a broadcast in things like Mailchimp or Keep. In HighLevel, it's called slightly differently. It's called a campaign, okay? So I'll look at that first and then work on to some more advanced ways of sending emails on email marketing. So you see my screen, everybody? Yeah, okay, Atticus?
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah,
That's all
okay.
dummy data, isn't it?
So this is all dummy data, so you don't need to worry too much about blurring everything out on this one. So this is a separate sub account with no real data. It's just got dummy data in. So if you want to do any email marketing, the first thing you're going to do is you have to find a list of people to send your emails to. Yeah. So hopefully in your HighLevel, you've got contacts in there. Okay. So in this one, we've got some dummy data we can play with here. Yeah. So you go to find your data in HighLevel. If you don't know, you go to contacts. And this basically gives you access to your database. Obviously, yours will look different to this. But then what we can do then in the data, we can use advanced filters. Yeah. And we can slice and dice that data any which way you want, really. So if you're using tags, yeah, if you're tagging someone as a customer, you could do a search on all the people that are tagged as a customer. You see some advanced filters here. So you find tags here. So the easiest way to do it is just to type in tag. Yeah, so I can pull up choose which the tag is customers, for instance. Yeah, and we can pull out a list of. I don't know if there's any customers marked up on here. Let me move that out of the way. Move the tech support out of the way, like that. Yeah, so you can see these people have all been tagged as customers, and we've got 49 of them. Yeah, so again, you've got lots of different ways of segmenting the data. I'll show you a couple of examples. So if you're using the sales pipeline functionality, yeah, you can you can see here, this I use this quite a lot actually. So you might have 100 people as new inquiries on your sales pipeline. That sales pipeline effectively becomes an email list for you. So you can look on here, if I can find it properly. Opportunities, yeah, opportunity stage. So you can drill down to a stage, and I've not got a pipeline set up in this account, but you can drill down to that particular opportunity stage, and it gives you've effectively got an email list. Yeah. So sometimes I won't be using tags very much because all my new inquiries come in as a sales pipeline stage. So all the new inquiries are always up to date in there. So that's how I would email them rather than applying tags and things, making it more complicated than it needs to be. But you can slice and dice it any which way you want. When you do a search, if I do a search here, we can then create what we call if I apply that like that, I can then create this into a smart list. Add smart list, yeah. I can save it as a smart list then, and you'll see some I've got here. Yep. Oh, I haven't got one set up here, not in this account. But then you see a list of smart lists. So you might have a smart list of all your active customers. Yeah, and this smart list would be dynamic. So as new customers are coming and you're losing customers, hopefully not too many, that list will be automatically updating. So you've got a live list. You can click on here, pull out a list if you've got it set up, that is. You can pull out a list of them and then you do something with them. Okay, so imagine we've got either a smart list or a full list here. We want to send them a simple broadcast email. We can click on like so. Yeah, and then we can go to send an email. Yeah, there's 20 contacts there. Confirm and proceed. Yeah, and then I can very simply just send an email from here. Yeah, so I can a plain as you like email. I can just write it here. Yeah, and I can send them all at once, send it at scheduled time or send it back. So that's the simplest way to send an email in the system. Yeah, yeah, using the quick compose email builder. Yeah. Or you might want to use a smart builder, which I'll show you in a minute, or the select an existing template. Yeah, so that's one way to send simple emails. Just select a list of people and basically send a simple email. Does that make sense for everybody? Okay, there, yeah. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. That's how you select your data in all these instances. But what we can do there, if we go to marketing, let's take it up a level now. Go to marketing. So I just want to jump into here and check if you haven't already got high-level software, then below you'll find a link to our MarketerM8 agency where you can sign up for a free trial, and we'll be more than happy to help you get onboarded and started using high-level. You see, we've got emails here. Go to emails. And here we've got campaigns and templates. Okay, so in high level, a campaign unintuitively is actually a broadcast email. Yeah. So I know generally in Key we have a broadcast and which is a broadcast email. We have campaigns which are automation. Where a campaign here is basically a broadcast email. So that's what to get your head around. Yeah.
Oh, it's easier this way, surely.
And then you got templates here. So here's where you can have all your template emails. Hi Kingsley, okay?
How you doing? Sorry for being so tardy. Something got held up here. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. You haven't missed much. So we get a recording afterwards anyway. So we'll carry on there. So campaigns are like what in other systems like Mailchimp or Keep Your Core Broadcast, and templates where you store all your email templates for not only simple email marketing, but for the more advanced workflows you'll see later on. Okay. So then we'll have a look at the email templates first, because it's quite important. So you see this account here has got no templates built in it. So we've got a blank canvas. We'll click on, it's even AI builder now. There's more and more AI coming to high level now. There's an AI builder there in beta still. Let's click on new here. I'm going to create a new blank template. And it gives us three options. Okay. Plain text editor. It's pretty much like a plain email like you might send in Gmail or Outlook, except if you've got it enabled, that is, except it's got the unsubscribe link at the bottom. There's very little formatting you can do there. It's left justified, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, if you want to embed images on there, you'll struggle because they'll all be left justified. You can't do much with it. Okay, that's a plain text. It's useful for really, really plain conversational style emails you might drop in. We've got the code editor. I can't remember the last time I used this now. So basically, if you've got a graphic designer who can design you an email in HTML, in web page code, then you can drop in the raw HTML and have a beautiful looking email. Yeah. Which is okay until you want to make an amend. And then you'll spend hours working through code, trying to make those changes. Plus, also, you've got to think in terms of the responsiveness. If they've built you a beautiful desktop size email in HTML, and then someone views it on a mobile device, if it shrinks down to the size of a postage stamp, it's not very usable. You have to. You've probably seen the way you have to zoom in and scroll around trying to read the thing. Yeah, so we don't tend to use HTML emails these days, but we've got the design editor where we create most of our email templates in the design editor. So I'll bring that up to show you. The first time you open this up, it looks like nothing. Yeah, so the first time you open it up, you're going to want to sort of create your sort of base template from this. So I'll show you quickly. Again, you can use AI to assist you more and more. Here, you see that creeping in there. But I'll just show you how I would approach this. So first of all, I'd never have that in the top because that smells of marketing straight away. So you see, we delete that. I might delete everything here to show you how it works. Yeah. So for instance, if you click on here, like so, and I might pull it, okay, well, I'm gonna have a logo at the top here. So you put a logo in here like that. Yep. So I might pull in a logo there. Hopefully I've got something here to drop in for you. I haven't. So I'll pull something in so you'll see here. Again, it's a blank. All these things have been, bear with me a sec. I'll pull it. I'll just pull in anything I've been working on here. Okay, so you've got an image so you can see something. Yeah, it's a nice ChatGPT image there. So you can start pulling in an image like that, and then we've got the elements you can pull in a block of text like so. You can start to build out your email, and we've got here. I've got 2 columns in like that, and we might have some text in there, and you can start to really see how you start to play with it about text in here, and a button here. Yeah, and then you might have another section here where we just want a single one like that. And you can rearrange things. You start. What I would do is build your first template, and then this becomes your sort of template going forward. With your logos always in the same place, you've got something to work with, and then you might have at the bottom here. Where are we? And some of these are fancy things as well. You've got to be aware of them. Like trying to drop a video into an email, yeah, or FAQs. So you might decide I want FAQs in there. Looks great, but there's no guarantee it's going to work on all email clients. So you might sort of shoot yourself in the foot by trying to be too fancy on these things. You know, try and keep your emails sort of simple, so you don't get yourself caught out later on. But a footer preview. Where's the? I'm looking for the footer. There we go. Right. So once you
Won't mail recipients like block it as well if it's a bit too bulky? Like there's so much
exactly, yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Okay.
I think that the rule is keep it simple. Yeah. Don't try to. They say the more if you're trying to embed code in, if you're trying to put like a fancy code in there like this that runs scripts and things, yeah. The spam filters just don't like that. You'll end up all your emails going to spam if you try to get too fancy putting the code in here that program code that does stuff. But the first time you do this, your idea is to. You see, it comes with this grey sidebar. You can get rid of that. I like to get rid of that by going here. And where's that setting gone? And it's disappeared.
It's on the
You
right
should be
hand
able to get
side.
rid of it. It's on this side here. Yeah. They've rearranged it on me. There you go. Yeah. That's the thing with HighLevel. It's always changing. So I like to get rid of these blue borders right here. Make it like that. So eventually you've got a new template. I'll call it test. So section with the foundation and for all future emails, you've got a template built in there. Does that make sense? By default at the bottom, it'll have the unsubscribe link in there. You can't get away from that, which from a compliance point of view, you need to do, yeah.
Oh, and sorry, I noticed that manage your preferences. That's the thing I was talking to you about. The new preferences thing.
Where are you seeing that, Jeremy? Let's see it on here.
At the bottom of the email, it says manage your preferences. So now
Oh, it's okay. Yeah.
users can click on it and say they only want to get news, or you've got to select the preferences like news or articles or whatever.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen it myself by Jeremy, actually. And you set up those, so you can have a preference, say, okay, I only want to receive sort of functional emails related to my product I've purchased from you. I don't want to receive any marketing emails from you. So rather than just a blanket opt out of everything, they can be selective in what the emails they receive from you. Yeah. And so whenever you're setting up a new email, you can say what again, this is so new, this feature. I've just saved that. And you set, while we're here, you set up the email preferences. Where is that now? I have looked at all this. Settings, preference management center here. Create subscription type. So you might have one for product, customer service, customer related emails, something like that, client account or something like that, yeah. And then you might have one for marketing emails.
Julian's freebies.
Marketing emails. So then they can come and say, no, I don't want to get the marketing emails in future. And then every time you're setting up a broadcast or an automate a workflow, you say that this is only for people that want the customer service emails and not the people that want them. So then you can automatically, they don't get they only get the emails they want, basically. So thanks for bringing that up, Jeremy. Yeah, I knew that was coming along. So go back to emails again. You'll just see we've now got a template set up. Yeah, we've got a template. Eventually, in these email templates, you might have 500 emails. Yeah, so if you don't organize them, then eventually it's very difficult to find the email you want. So you can create folders in here. This might be marketing emails, like that. Yeah, customer service emails. Something like that. And then you can easily move things about there. So this template here, I can move into this customer service email simply by going click here and move to folder, pop it in there like that. Yeah. One thing we do a lot is when we're working on the automation, building out campaigns, Jeremy, yeah, we will have a folder for each campaign. Yeah, so you can get you're in a workflow, you can go easily into your templates and find all the 10 emails that are part of that campaign rather than say trying to find it amongst 500 others. Yeah, which can be a bit of a pain. That's where you build your email templates. And say we want to send out a broadcast email now, yeah. We can go to campaigns and set one up. So we can create a new campaign. Choose from one of our markets. So we can set a template up already. Or we can use one of the pre-built ones, which I wouldn't recommend. Yeah, these all tend to be lots of images. You know, these are the sort of ones that are going to get caught out by the spam filters these days. Yeah, because it's full of images and they just look like marketing emails to the filters. But if I want to send a new campaign, so I'm in campaign, new campaign, I'm going to pull in one of my templates, which I've only got one. So it's in this folder here. So I choose, that's the email I'm going to use for my email broadcast. So I pull the email into the campaign now. There it is. I'm going to preview it. I can test it. I can send or schedule it. So I'm going to send it now, or I can schedule it into the future. Yeah, do all that. So you then obviously you come down here and you'd oops, hang on, let me get the mouse right. Pop your name in there. You send your email address, which has to match the sending email domain we set up. I'll show you that in a minute. Yeah, the subject line, etc. And here is where we can choose who we're going to send this broadcast email to, or this campaign to. Yeah. If you've got a smart list set up, so remember at the start I showed you, if you've got a smart list set up for all your customers, you could just choose a smart list and send it to just your customers. Or if they've got a tag, you can choose contacts like that. We could select on that. I think select on tags as well. Set while I work it out. They're all. How do you choose on tags that? I can't remember how I did this before.
So
Choose
scroll down.
contact.
Choose
Choose
contact. And then there's a little plus button, isn't there? Just to your left.
Oh yeah. I've only got two. Well done, Atticus. I hardly ever use this functionality, but there's the two tags I've got set up in this test account. So I want to send all the customers. I choose that one, and it'll pull in the 49 contacts we looked at before. Yeah. And there's some advanced features at the bottom here. We've got. Again, we can automatically track the links, UTM tracking for any sort of Google Analytics tracking there, add tags automatically, which is quite interesting. Add tags. So you see here, we can add tags automatically when the contacts opens this campaign or clicks in the email. If they click the email, they open it, we can tag them automatically, and they'll subscribe or they'll bounce. So if they open up the email, we can choose what tag we want to apply to them. which is quite a handy feature. And obviously that, to get more advanced, that tag could then trigger automation if we wanted to later. Resend email to the unopened. So we can if they don't open the email, we can automatically resend it to them. Quite a nice feature built in, yeah. Even have a new subject line for it, so it looks different. And here's what Jeremy mentioned before, the preference type. You see here, I've got the marketing. This would only go to people who are opted in for the marketing emails. Yeah. So that I think preview and send, and then we just send that. I'm not going to send it. Yeah, obviously it's going to be a warning because I haven't set it up fully. But that's the idea. Work through that, and you can send a broadcast email out to the list. So that making sense? Any questions from anybody? Nobody, everyone quiet? Yeah. Okay, let me just do this a second. Let me check my list. I created templates. So yeah, so that's all about creating one-off campaigns, a one-off broadcast email. Often what I'll be doing is taking it to the next level, okay? And I myself would be using the workflows to send these emails rather than doing it really basic, okay? And I'll show you how we can get a bit more advanced with that. So we're going to step away from the campaigns now and look at automation. So again, we've got a separate workshop for the automation, and in the automation section with the web, this is the real powerhouse of HighLevel. Okay, so I'm going to start from scratch here. So again, organizing your workflows into folders saves you a lot of time later on. So I like to call these turbocharged broadcasts. I'll show you why in a minute, okay? So I'll go into that folder. I'm just going to create a simple workflow. So to replicate what the very simple campaign can do, all I have to do is a very simple workflow, and all it contains is an email, basically. So I don't need a trigger in this instance. I just need to drop in an email, send an email. Okay, so I'm not going to bother filling the name of the from name of the from email. Yeah, I do need a subject line test. And you'll see again here, we can use a quick composer. So I could create a very plain looking email there, or I could pull in that template I designed earlier, select an existing template, which you've only got the one, which is that one. We pull that straight into the template here, into the and notice here as well, we've got an option, sync edits to the template. So if I enable that, yeah, any amendments I make to this copy here will update the template, which is quite handy. Okay, so I call this test. Let's see, 14th of April. Okay, so basically in this workflow, all I've got set up, right, one second, all I've got set up is the email here in this workflow. How could I send that to people? Okay, from the list, I'll show you now. So first of all, the very simplest, you can save that. Actually, I'll put in a weight here so we can see them all stacked up. Okay, so if I put in a weight, no delay at all. But I want to send this. Say I wanted to send this on tomorrow, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Wait a sec. Exact. So that's going to send. That would send at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Oh. Okay, so time. Wait till Wednesday at 11 a.m. Okay, so we set up a workflow. it's going to wait till Wednesday 11 a.m. and then send this email. I'm going to save that. Okay, how do I get how do I get all my customers into this workflow? Okay, so because I'm not using a trigger here, I'm going to basically take all my customers and jumpstart them straight into here. So go back. Again, this is dummy data, so we're okay to do this. Go to my contacts. I only want to send this to my customers, so I'll click on here and just check I've got the right tag applied. That's giving me the 49 contacts. I select them all, but it only gives you 20. I've got to select all 49 here. Yeah. And then I can go to trigger automation. I'm going to send some email. Select the workflow. Yeah. I'm going to send all at once. I want to show you how it works. I'm going to send all at once, add to the automation, and that's jump starting them straight in that workflow. You can check the progress. If you're doing a large list, it can take a little while to filter through. But if we go back to the automation now, you'll see turbocharge broker. You see the 49 people are now active in that workflow. I click on here like that. And you remember, I set the timer to wait till tomorrow, Wednesday, at 11 a.m. So you can see them all stacked up there waiting to get my email tomorrow. Yeah. So that basically replicates what the email campaign does, but now we can go one step further. You know, we can build a mini campaign here now. We can send them a reminder email 2 days later if we want to. So we can put another weight in there. And this is where I call it turbocharged broadcast. Now we can build a little mini campaign around what happens if they reply to that email. We can trigger things to happen. If they don't open it, we can trigger things to happen, and you can build anything you like, really. So it's a lot more sophisticated, just simply sending an email. When you go into the email as well, you see stats here. So you can see all your open rates, everything like that. Yeah, it's all there. And then here's a little tip for you here. So we've got 49 people waiting to go tomorrow. What happens if I want to make changes? What if I decide I don't want to send it to those people now? I can click on here like that. Yeah, and I've got options here now. I can select everybody. And if I click the bin on there, it's going to remove everyone from this workflow. Yeah, it'll remove everyone from the workflow. It's not deleting the contacts. It's just removing them from the workflow. Yeah. Equally, if I don't want to wait till 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, I can click on the little running person here, and that would push everyone straight through the timer, so they'd get the email right away immediately. So useful little tool there when you're managing the managing real data. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'll show you an example. So I'll take these people out of this workflow now. Just go back. Click there. Move all. And you'll see them all disappear gradually here. And then I'll go. I see it'll decrease gradually here now, yeah. And then a little bonus for anyone who was using, anyone like Jeremy who was using Keep before, yeah. This is very this layout with the triggers and the actions is very much like Zapier, top down, yeah. We used to enjoy Campaign Builder, which we've now got in HighLevel as the Advanced Builder. Yeah, and you can start to build it out in a more friendly way that we're familiar with in Keep. Yeah. You can start to rearrange and make pretty pictures like you do in Keep. But a lot of what I do, to be honest, is still in Standard Builder. I've got used to it now. Is that okay? Any questions there? We also do get the stats in the campaign in the campaign builder as well. So if you go back to the campaigns, you'll see that's in marketing, emails. When you come into here, campaigns, you'll be able to see the history when it's actually been sent. You'll be able to see the stats in there, and it also, it's in there or is it here? I know here it gives you the overall for all your campaigns in here, which is quite handy. You get some nice pictures there. And this is dummy data, it's just showing you because there's nothing in here yet. So yeah, it's quite slick when you get into it. Yeah, but the first thing you've got to do, make sure you've got set up in your account if you're sending emails from HighLevel, is make sure you've got a sending domain set up, okay? So to do that, you go to Settings, Email Services. And if you see a screen like this, then it means you haven't got it set up. Yeah. So if you don't have this set up, then you'll find a lot of your emails going to spam. Okay, so you do need to set this up. You need to check this. You close down here. You'll see here. This is a MarketerM8 agency sub account. So this has got the agency sort of catch-all settings in here, which is not ideal for the general user. You really want to update it with your own settings here. Probably easiest if I come out here and look at one of mine. So I'm coming out of this account now just to show you what we've got set up in here. What it should look like for you. So you see here, my main domain is julianmills.co.uk here. So I've set up an email sending domain of mg.julianmills.co.uk. When you're setting these up, what you mustn't do is set it up on your root domain like that. Yeah, if you set this up on your root domain like this, with these email settings, very quickly you'll probably find that all your regular Outlook or Gmail emails stop working. Yeah, because you've mixed up the systems now with two different sort of email sending systems. So it gets mixed up. So it's vital that you put them on a subdomain. In this case, I've called it mg dot. It can be whatever you want, no reply dot, email dot, whatever. But it's got to be a subdomain so that all the DNS settings are sort of self-contained and it's not going to cause a conflict with your regular emails. Really important, that one, yeah. But when you come to set this up, so you're going to need to have access to your domain name to set these settings up. Yeah. If you're using anything like GoDaddy or Cloudflare, well, then it's all automated. It'll do it for you. But any other systems, you're going to have to do it manually, which is just a bit more copying and pasting. So I'll give you an example. I had a service. No, that's the wrong one. A dedicated domain IP. You see here, I've got various ones. You can have different ones as well. You can vary them. Yeah, and there's various advanced settings. But to keep it simple, if you click on Add a Domain. So here for me, I'm going to set I can send no reply. No, it's probably not a good example, no reply. I would do something like maybe email dot julian.co.uk. So again, that's a subdomain. It's not on my root domain. Looks good. It's happy with that. Click on Add and Verify. Okay, so again, I'm going to do it manually to show you the manual way of doing it. If you were logged into GoDaddy and this was a GoDaddy domain, it would ask you to log into GoDaddy and it just do it for you.
Sorry, Julian.
Yep.
Just to clarify, when it says the subdomain, you use that so it goes into your high-level conversations. Is that correct? They reply to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. This is
no reply is a really bad idea then.
Yeah. When I said it, I realised that. Yeah. But this is important because it then feeds back into the conversation, and we can do smart things like if they reply yes or no.
Yeah.
We can make decisions on that automatically with the intent. So you can do the advanced stuff with it. Yeah.
So if they email julian@julianmills.co.uk, like I do, it goes through to wherever your email service is outside of HighLevel then.
Yeah. If you're a contact on my HighLevel database, yeah, you see with your email address. If you email me direct to me, Julian @julianmills, I've synchronized my Google account, my Gmail account. So if you email me to Julian @julianmills, it synchronizes back to your contact record in HighLevel.
Oh, it still does? Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, it does that. But if they reply to a marketing email, because we've got this subdomain here, it can do smarter stuff. It can it can then work out the intent. So we can say, was it a positive reply or a negative reply? Yeah.
Okay.
Did
Or
they open it?
my ones, in which case they're just boring replies.
Yeah. Did they reply to an email? Start to trigger automation, do the advanced stuff. So it's quite important for that, yeah. So
Yeah.
if I click on add record manually, it gives me these 5 DNS records. So if you don't know, this is all to do with your domain names. You log into something like GoDaddy or 123reg, look at your DNS settings for that domain, and just start copying and pasting. Create a text type record. The host or name is email. The value is that. You just copy and pasting all these values, stick them in there. When you've got them on your GoDaddy account, you click on verify records. It can take a little while, but eventually it'll go green and it'll look something like this. Then, yeah, it'll go green like that one there. Yeah, yeah. So what's that? So then, in addition, you could also domain warm up. Okay, so when you first set this up, what you don't want to do is start sending out 100,000 emails in one go, right? If you do that from scratch, then a lot of emails are going to spam. You won't do your reputation very good because all the ISPs like Gmail and Outlook, etc., they don't know you from Adam, so they'll be very cautious about that. So the trick is to gradually warm up the domain. Yeah, if you've got a small list, a few thousand or whatever, what I'd suggest is, first of all, start by sending your best list, emails. So send your customers emails, ask your customers to reply to the emails. Again, it's all good signals to the ISP, and it starts to build up your credibility, your quality score. Yeah, there's also an automatic warm-up process here. Yeah, so I think it starts stuff like, see here, I got a bit stuck into it here. Yeah, see, I don't send enough emails here. But first of all, it'll say you can only send 1,000 a day. Yeah. The next one, you see here, I'm at 2,500 a day here. So once I try to send more than 2,500 a day, it moves me up to the next band. So I'm gradually warming up the domain rather than just hitting someone with 100,000, hitting the system with 100,000 emails and causing myself trouble. Yeah, so that's a useful feature here to help you to build up your quality score as an email sender. Yeah, so you get quite detailed on this, but it's worth knowing that because if you don't set up the email sending domain, your emails will probably go to spam. Yeah. Okay, we talked about that. How we do for time? Yeah. Yeah. One other thing we got from the Entrepreneur Circle, if you've got a list in HighLevel, in the Entrepreneur Circle, we've got what they call a template email called the free line email. I'll share that with you now, yeah. So if you've got a list, you've got previous inquiries, or leads you've not followed up, just sending a simple email as that. You don't even need to create a template for it, yeah. Send that out to your list, and it can bring in sort of sales instantly. Yeah, I think the record with Entrepreneur Circle was what's it? He was a client of mine actually in Keep. He sent this email out to his list, and he got $1 million deal out of it, £1 million deal out of it. He just reactivated an old cold lead. So if you want to try that, we can share that with you. If you've got an old list of previous inquiries, just just customize it obviously. But just send that out to the list, and it'll reactivate some old contacts, old leads that you might not have got round to emailing. So that's I'm coming to the end of what I want to discuss today. Happy to have any questions or talk about any specific issues you got.
We've got a couple of questions in the chat.
Oh yeah, what were those, Atticus?
So one regarding importing data. When you're importing, how would you apply a tag to them, such as a customer's tag?
So to import data, you go to it must be contacts now. Contacts. You see here. We can also export data as well, guys. Yeah, so I'll show you that as well. So you click on I can't see it myself now. Where's it gone, Atticus? Sorry, there. Import, you see there? Import data. What we're talking about today, we're just looking at contact records. Okay, so you're looking at putting contacts like so. Click on next. It has to be a CSV file. Okay, so if it's an Excel or whatever, convert it to a CSV file and you import it here. If it's the first time you're updating, if it's the first time you're importing data, then you're probably just going to be creating contacts. Yeah. In the future, you might be updating a file of data where you've already got contacts on HighLevel, and then you'd be looking to create and update contacts. Yeah. So rather than creating duplicates, you're only going to be updating the existing ones, which makes sense. Yeah. The system, when it does that, the system's going to look to merge those contacts on contact ID, if that's available, the email address, then finally the phone number. Yeah. So when you're working in HighLevel, Jeremy, yeah, one thing to think about in duplicates is if you're testing something and just filling a form in, you can't just change the email address. You've got to change your phone number as well if you're doing a test because it'll pick you up on the phone number and dedupe you. So watch out for that one. Yeah. So you import your CSV file. I've got a file I can just quickly. That will do the job for now. Yeah, so that's actually some data there. Click on next. It's quite a big file actually. Yeah, they did pick. I think there's maybe. Yeah, here we go. So when you import the CSV file, the first thing you look to do is map the contacts. Yeah, map the first name in the CSV file to the first name in the database. You see here, we've got the name here. It's identified first name is going to first name, last name to last name. Yeah, you just map. There's a lot of data here on this one. There's 104 pieces of data, lines of data here that aren't recognized, but I'll just skip that for now. Yeah. The next step there would be that you're able to drop people into workflows for automation or select tags to apply as you import it. Is that okay? So it's quite logical when you go through the import process. The converse of that is exporting data from the system as well. We can do that. So sometimes you might have a file of data, you might have a list of contacts that are customers in the system. You want to then update them. So and rather than do it one by one in the system, looking up contacts, you might decide, well, if I export that 1,000 contacts into Excel, I can manipulate the data in Excel. So I export it and then re-import it and update the contacts in HighLevel. It save you a lot of time rather than going into individual contacts and updating them. Yeah. So to do that, you need to export the data. So you go to contacts. So we've got the 49 contacts here. We've selected on the tag customers. So we want to export a list of our customers. Okay. The first thing to do is decide what fields you want to include in your export. You can manage fields here. You say, okay, we've got all those up there. You know, you might have other custom fields you want to pull in there. You have them all listed here, and then we can highlight all the 49 contacts, not 20, the 49. Click on that. Click on export. Yeah, and that will give you an export file. You can download a file there into your local computer, and you can manipulate that data, change it. As long as you keep the contact ID, at least one of these, the contact ID, the email, the phone number, the same, you can then re-import them, and it'll automatically update the existing contacts with the new information. Is that okay? Answer that one.
Yeah, that's good. Another question regarding tagging contacts. So as soon as a contact comes into your system, how would you tag them as a prospect? You do it in the automations, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So if every new contact that comes in, if you want to do something to those new contacts, there's a blanket. So you could do it simply by someone fills in a contact us form. Yeah, the contact us form could be a trigger, and they get tagged. Okay, that's at the individual level of a contact form. Or if you wanted to just tag every new contact that comes into your system, yeah, the way I would do it, go to automation. I say the workflows are the real powerhouse here. Yeah, create a workflow, start from scratch in this case, and then we'd use a trigger. And as soon as you click on trigger, see all these triggers we've got here. Yeah, we've got lots of triggers to play with. I think if I type in new contact, see that contact created. Okay, so at the moment, every new contact is created, be it by a form, they Facebook message us, we import them, whatever. Every new contact we create is going to trigger this workflow. Yeah, I can put filters in there to be more specific. Yeah, so only ones where equal. You can start. I'm just doing it on the fly here, but you start putting filters in here, so that we only, yeah, all the new contacts trigger the workflow, but they only proceed if they've, I don't know, they've got an email address they haven't, or whatever it might be. But that's the trigger. So any contact is created now, any contact, and I'm going to simply apply a tag. So click on the plus to the actions. We type in tag, add contact tag, and put prospect in there. Yeah, so now anywhere where anytime a new contact is created, they get tagged as a prospect. That okay? That one?
That's good.
Right, Julian. So then, a bit like with Keep, if they become a customer, we remove we use the same system, similar. We remove the prospect tag, do we? And then turn it into a customer tag.
Yes, exactly. You could do exactly that. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. What we're doing more and more, Jeremy, is not using tags at all for that. Yeah, rather create a custom field. Yeah, so rather if you use a custom field like a radio custom field, it's either a prospect or a customer. Yeah, you don't have to worry then, because with your system, what you're mentioning there, you've always got to remember to remove the prospect tag when it becomes customer.
Oh, yeah.
Any time you forget to do that, you'll have contacts where they've got two tags, they're a customer and a prospect at the same time.
That's
Now
the
you know
confusion.
nothing.
So can the automation change the radio tag automatically then?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh,
So
brilliant.
here we're tying a tag, adding a tag. Here, you take update. You get used to it, a bit of practice on these. Yeah, update a contact field. Yeah, so we just drill down to whichever one we want. So you see here, obviously, we're not interested in the business name or anything. We're going to custom fields, and in the custom fields, you'd have a custom field for are they a customer, yes or no. It can be either customer yes or no, or the prospect or a customer, and so it can only ever be one of those. It can't be both at the same time, and that's the way to do it.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's all thought through, Jeremy. Yeah, so it's as good, probably better than Keep. Yeah.
As long as we can get rid of some tags, that makes life easier.
Yeah, because I mean, this example, it's not the best to show you, but what we can do, when you look at contact record here, rather than having a big stack of 40 tags, yeah, you got to visually filter through and work out what they are. You can just have on here. You see here, you can have little folders of all the custom fields. You can have as many. You can put the custom fields in folders. And then you can see data nice and easily, rather than just a bunch of where do the tags live now.
Brilliant.
They live. You get the idea anyway. You see here, eventually you have a big stack of tags. You can't see them all.
That's it.
Yeah, you can do more with the custom fields as well. So, for instance, the custom fields you can merge into your email copy. You can't with tags. Yeah, and also getting a bit more advanced now. Yeah, we can feed those custom fields into an action for ChatGPT. So we can actually, in the automated emails, we can actually make each customer's got a unique email, because the AI is adapting the email based on what we know about them. So we can tell the AI they're a customer based on that custom field. And it can then customize that, make that more personal, that automated email.
Okay. So when you talk about the automations, Is it because I know you do the series of emails? Is it just automatically does it for you, the whole lot, the whole series? You
Uh,
don't, apart from editing it a bit, does it for
you,
you?
you mean the ones for these workshops?
The workshops, and you had, I've not seen them recently, but the series of emails that you were sending out.
Oh, you've probably come to the end of that
I was
series.
in
I
that
need to update
cycle. Put me back in.
it. I need
13,
to
I think, email cycle, and yeah. So that's all by the automation.
yeah. Just to show you how these invites go out for these workflows, these workshops. Yeah, I'll show you how those work. Yeah, and if you want to copy this template, Atticus, we've got a template for this, haven't we, Atticus? We use, yeah. But just to show, so this isn't simple email marketing. This is probably one of our most advanced here, yeah. So, but to show you here, automation.
We've
So just
also
to show you
got
how we, sorry.
we've also got a workshop for advanced marketing.
Yes, yeah, it's in there. Yes. So again, here I've got all these folders. These are all sort of effectively campaigns here. Number 5, number 6, I think it is this one here. So we've got an evergreen campaign that never ends here yet, and there's sort of 3, 4 parts to it now. This is the main part that's sending out the emails you get every week. And this campaign runs for an entire year, by the way. So you'll see now. It loads. And we go slow.
It is a monster, this one.
Yeah. So this is like this is more advanced than most, should we say? Yeah. More. But this is working out what month of the year we're in. So we're now in April. And we've almost been running this series for a whole year. So we've almost got the whole set built up over the year. Because so far, I've been manually adding them each week rather than doing a whole year's worth in one go. So you look here. Okay. So this is the email you'd have got last what day was it? This on the 10th of April, I think it was last Friday. You got this email. And then yesterday, you'll have got this email on the 13th. That's the email you got there. You might recognize this one. There's the email that went out, yeah. So notice I've got syncing on here. So every time we run this particular email, any changes we're constantly updating these. Every change I make is automatically updating the master template. So it keeps it all up to date. Yeah. You see, we go into here, edit it, have a look at it. This is one that went out yesterday to you guys. Because we've got a 13-week series, we've now worked out that the dates are all stored as custom values in the system. Yeah, so there's one there. You see the date. So for this workshop, we can change the date once in the custom values, and it updates all the emails, all the websites, everything with the right date. I'm not having to run around 20 places updating dates for the next one. Saves a lot of time.
Make sure you keep that open for Atticus so we can add another one for 10 minutes before the meeting starts, please. Keep asking.
So you see here, once you've got a template, you can use it over and over. And this is now spawned into 26 different templates, 2 for each workshop we do.
It's massive.
And obviously you can see here, if we close up blank, say, you'll see we get stats for it. That's what we're doing. Yeah, so 935 delivery there.
And all those dates update themselves through custom fields.
Yes, yeah. You remember we looked at before, Jamie, where it wasn't the lovable.dev wasn't working properly.
Yeah.
That's updating those fields
Wow.
automatically.
Clever.
So this is a bit more. It's not simply email marketing, but it gives you shows you where we're up to. So what's happened here? You got the emails yesterday, and I've got a fail-safe stop here on the 30th of April. So after today's meeting now, I've got to go in and create copy from earlier in the year, the emails for the next workshop. I'll be dropping them in there and rearranging it here. But eventually, like next month, we'll be on track where we've done a whole year and all the emails are in place for me. So it gets a bit easier from next month. There's less
That
less
is
work
so
for you to
easy.
do. But I hope that gives you an idea. That's what they can look like. Is that okay, guys? Have I confused anyone on that or not? But we've got this evergreen campaign as a template. Atticus can give you no problem. Import that, 'cause it took you quite a while to build that out first, didn't it, Atticus? And I've been working on it ever since. But the template is not as complicated as this one here. This has grown over the year.
Yeah,
I'm not brave enough yet to do them, but when Atticus starts, I'll start. So if you could copy that, yeah.
You don't get a
Well,
text 10 minutes before the workshop today.
Say that again, sorry.
Did you not get a text 10 minutes before the workshop today?
I get the text every time, just not the email. I don't do mobiles, mate. It's too complicated. I'm too old. As she said the other day, I'm not as old as your dad, but close to it.
Here you go, Jamie. You'll be glad to see this. I just checked it. Remember today's workshop? Today is on the 14th of April, yeah?
Yeah.
The next time this runs, it's on the 4th of August.
Wow. And it's done it.
So it's working now. Yeah, that lovable.dev, it's working now in the background. So it's the custom value you saw is updating automatically via Lovable, yeah.
But couldn't you get the Keep AI Studio to do that for you, or whatever it's called?
Or the high level AI,
Oh
high
yeah, the
level.
high level. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite there yet with that.
No,
Eventually it will, but
it's good, but not. Yeah,
it's
I
not.
get
I
it.
don't think it's got that to that point yet, but it's on the way anyway. It's on the way, yeah. Anyways, we digress a bit there.
Sorry.
So I think we lost a few people there. So, uh, but anyway, so we'll round up today then. You got any more questions from anybody before we round up?
1 second.
Anything?
No, that's everything. No more questions in the chat.
Okay, so we'll round up today then. So thank you everyone that's still on the call for joining us today. I hope you found it useful. What's the next workshop we do? Is it calendars next time, Atticus?
Calendars and appointments on the 28th of April. So we've got a week off next week.
Okay. So the calendars and appointments is basically just like Calendly, but better. I think it's better the way you can use it. So that'll be that's always a useful one. It's the one thing that saves me them so much time. It's well worth setting up the calendars for yourselves. So hopefully we'll see you there. So that concludes today's workshop on simple email marketing. We hope you found it of value. And you should see shortly a QR code appear where you can book onto our next live workshop and also book a discovery call if you've got any further questions for Atticus or myself. See you again.